We're going to be finding the surface area of prisms. Okay, so here's your basic formula. We know surface area is equal to P times H plus 2B. That means the perimeter of the base times the height of the prism plus 2 times the area of the base. Okay, now with surface area, you are able basically to find like each face, take and find the area of each face. I could do it all individually, right? I have one on the back there, I have one on the bottom, and I have one on the side. So you really can do that, but this is a more mathematically mature way to approach these problems, and it works for all prisms. So I'm going to do all of my problems this way, following this formula. You're welcome if you really want to add up all the sides, but most of the time, especially if the figures are a little more complicated, people goof it up. All right, so let's look at an example. I want to find the surface area of the prism. So for our purposes, I'm going to call this our base. With a rectangular prism, you have the option. You can move your base around. That's fine. All right, so we know surface area is equal to the perimeter of the base times the height of the prism plus 2 times the area of the base. The perimeter of my base, that's 7 plus 9, that's 16, and I have another 16 here, so that gives me 32, times the height of my prism is 6. Plus, I need 2 times the area of my base. So 2 times the area of the base, that's 2 times 7 times 9. So now I'm just ready to simplify here. So 32 times 6 gives me 192, plus 2 times 63 gives me 126. I need to add those two together. So 192 plus 126. Oops, I mistyped here. 192 plus 126 gives me 318 square units. Now, something I do want to point out, this part right here before I add in the bases. So if I'm only thinking about those faces, okay, I know that it's a little messy there. If I'm only thinking about the faces, that's called lateral area. Okay, that's called lateral area. Once you add in the bases, it's referred to as all of it together is called surface area. Here's another example. I want to, again, I'm going to use my formula. Surface area equals the perimeter of the base times the height of the prism plus 2 times the area of my base. Now this time my base has to be the triangle. Remember, our bases have to be polygons. They have to be parallel to each other and they have to be congruent. The faces with an F are always going to be rectangles. So the triangle here has to be my base. All right, so surface area equals the perimeter of my base. Let me get a clean slate here. So my base, we said, was that triangle. So I need to add 3 plus 4 plus 5. That gives me 12 times the height of my prism. That's the 8 right there. Plus 2 times the area of my base. Now my base is a triangle, so that's 1/2 base times height. So that's 1/2. I need to determine my base and my height. Well, I recognize this triangle here as a right triangle. 3, 4, 5, remember we talked about as a famous right triangle. So 3 and 4 are my base and my height of my triangle. So that's 3 times 4. So surface area gives me, I'm going to have 96. My plus 2 times 1/2, that's just a unit of 1. 3 times 4 is 12. So my surface area equals 108 square inches. Okay, a problem like this is really why I like to use the formula more than trying to do individual faces. Okay, so this is a trapezoidal prism. So surface area equals the perimeter of the base times the height plus 2 times the area of the base. All right, so the perimeter of my base. My base is a trapezoid. So I have a 5, I have a 12, that's 17, plus 5 more, that's 22, plus 6, that's 28. So 28 is the area of my base. The height of the prism then is 10. Plus 2 times the area of my base. So my base, that is a trapezoid. So my formula is going to be 1/2 times base 1 plus base 2. So now we're talking the bases of the trapezoids, right? So we have 6 plus 12 times the height of my trapezoid. So that's where this 4 back here comes into play. All right, so just to recap, I had perimeter of my base times the height of the whole prism. That gives me all of those rectangles all at once. Okay, then I have 2 of the trapezoids. So that's 2 times 1/2 of base 1 plus base 2 times the height of the trapezoid. This is just focusing on the trapezoids. All right, so let's simplify. 28 times 10 is 280. For my trapezoids here, the 2 times 1/2, that's a unit of 1. And then 6 plus 12 is 18. And 18 times 4 gives me 72. So my surface area is 352 square centimeters.